if we're to look at it in terms of this kind of duality, us versus them, I think one of the key things that I can understand is that how we've already redefined who we are. There's not even a word to describe what this community is. We're not magicians anymore, are we? It's the EsoZone. We're not, esoteric doesn't do it. We're not hippies, you know, we can't really identify what we are, and that kind of melting, bubbling thing, I think, is our best hope for defining what role we play in this kind of duality.
I think in a broad sense, there's always a generational tension. Once people have achieved a certain position in society, they become resistant to change. And I think that seems to, you know, even the story of Oedipus, you know, he's willing to sacrifice his son because he's afraid of someone, you know, his son usurping his power upon him coming of age. But I think as we're progressing, we're seeing cultural changes that almost, I don't think there's ever been a time in history when things have happened this quickly. You know, I'm sure some of our older panelists have seen an age in which segregation and you know, people of color can have, you know, whatever kind of slur hurled at them, and that would have been perfectly normal. When my grandparents moved to Miami, Florida, there was a sign above the only road leading in that said Gentiles only. And, you know, to think that we have come that far in such a short period of time, and, you know, despite whatever kind of conspiratorial things may be happening in the background, someone such as, you know, Obama being biracial, even being an icon of power, is almost unthinkable. You know, just a couple of decades ago, even you know, perhaps a few years ago. And so I think it's important for us to try and create a sense of history that has been lost to us. You know, many people in underground societies don't recognize how these things have happened in the past. Who were the anarchists, you know, 100 years ago? Which kind of Europeans melded with Native Americans who were both seeking freedom, you know, 150 years ago? Who were the Luddites even further back, and just you know, looking at the history of resistance against power. And I think this is a kind of history that's not taught in school. That if there were some method by which we could coalesce some of this knowledge and learning, I think it could help to propel us even further as we can find empowering icons of the past to give us good models for the future.